Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to Esoteric and Magical Influences for the 22nd through the 28th of August, 2021. Well, I hope everybody had a good week last week. I don't know if I think that this happened last week. I don't think it happened the week before. My husband went out to set the night water. Well, we have 5 acres and we've got flood irrigation, and so we have to go out, late and all of that to move things around so that we can not have to do it in the middle of the night. But he comes back and he looks over at the dome greenhouse, and we've never put an actual cover over it. I have netting, and I've got grapes growing over the top of it, and now there's pumpkins and other things growing, gourds and stuff growing all over it. So anyway, the grapes evidently were found by I don't know, two or three grown raccoons, and they're up on top eating my grapes. And anyway, they were there a couple nights in a row, and now they're not. At least they don't seem to be. He goes out and checks, and they don't seem to be there now. But oh my goodness, he said he saw beady little eyes, and so he went over what looked like eyes looking at him. So he goes over to it and goes onto the other side toward the entrance, and they've shifted, and now they're looking down at him there. So that was fun. So that was, I suppose you could say that typified our whole week. Anyway, so I hope yours is going well. I've been harvesting beans every other day, and we've been processing them, and the blackberries are doing well, and I've been harvesting herbs. And so we'll see. We'll see how everything goes. I've already got a couple of tinctures going, which I think might be done, but and I've been doing some other kinds of formulating for different kinds of teas to keep us healthy and well through the coming winter. So just been kind of reevaluating all of that, everything I've got and what I need to get. I've done a little bit of ordering for some stuff I don't grow myself. So anyhow, that's what's been going on here. So let's take a look at today's, let's start with Sunday the 22nd today. We have a 22 energy. Now that's the numerology for the day. Now that's the master number. That's the cosmic builder. You got 11, 22, 33. 33 is Christ consciousness. The 11 is basically awakening and enlightenment. So you can see they're very, very powerful numbers, especially the cosmic builder, because that's profound soul level manifestation that can happen on a 22 energy day. It also corresponds with the full moon. It went full at 5:01 this morning in Aquarius, but then the moon shifted into Pisces at 5:43 a.m. So that's interesting. Little different kind of energy there. It doesn't understand emotions to emotional, so that's kind of interesting. I love how the signs switch back and forth like that. It's just an interesting dichotomy, especially when the moon shifts in the same, during the daylight hours when you're awake. It's kind of an interesting energetic experience. But today's rune is Nathis, or the friction within. It's a Norn rune of the future. It's the friction within to manifest, so it aligns perfectly with the 22 energy. Albus is a geomancy rune, and that's wisdom, the wisdom of the sage. So again, everything's in alignment there. A human design channel active at 8 this morning is abstraction, and the magical focus. Magic's governed by the sun today. So clarity, truth, healing, courage, removing barriers, leadership, and the favorability of working magic today is very good. So that should be nice. Especially if you didn't draw down the moon last night, you're going to do it tonight, because technically, unless you're up at 5:01 this morning as it was setting, in any event, you'll be doing that tonight. But at least the energy's very good for that. So overcome challenges that arise today with wisdom and grace. Past experience, your own and that of others, should guide you toward a successful outcome. Note that the moon turns full at 5:01 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time while still in Aquarius, but then travels into Pisces only 42 minutes later. Your intuition is strong and you take a spiritual focus. However, if you're feeling emotional, drop resistance and avoid reacting if at all possible. Know that the situation is temporary and will likely soon pass. And if not, you can always return to it when you're feeling better, when you're feeling a little stronger and more in control of your emotions. If you're having difficulty understanding the greater picture on Sunday, it may be that you're heading in the wrong direction. With self-discipline, you're able to shift your vision to one that cuts through any confusion to achieve your intended goal with clarity and resolve. Let's see. Now, moving on to Monday, the 23rd of August, we move from a 22 energy to a 5. Now, 5 is about change and fulfillment, freedom versus restriction, which I guess some people have been trying to deal with of late, trying to figure out, well, do I take the vaccine? Do I mask up? Do I care about other people? Gee, I don't know. I think the answer is yes, but I don't know. That's just me. Sewillow is the rune for Monday, and so we're talking the rune of the will. It's an as above, so below rune. Kenna is presented in both directions, kind of skewed, but it's there. Albus again is the geomancy rune, so again, wisdom of the sage, drawing from either your own experience or someone else's. Pisces is the placement of the moon on Monday. Abstraction is still the human design channel. The moon governs magic, so feminine magics, healing, intuition, cycles, reincarnation, astral travel, balance, and change. Favorability of work and magic is very good on Monday. But we're going to be coming into the very bad days here coming up. You get to the end of the month, and there's a few days there, a handful of them, where it's not recommended. Changes experienced on Monday should be approached in full clarity. Take control of the circumstances of using wisdom gained through past experience. Self-confidence is high, and a creative or innovative solution is possible. The moon is not only in Pisces, but given that Mother Moon, the full moon was on Sunday, now we're in the crone phase of it. That's one thing I forgot to mention. Avoid overreaction today if the unexpected, or on Monday rather, if the unexpected occurs. This could signal a new strategy or path that takes you to a new level of insight. Remain adaptable and open to the input of others while keeping your own counsel if you feel you cannot calmly express yourself. Eliminate challenges or barriers before they take on a life of their own, even if they're ones that are self-induced. Collaborate with others to assess the situation so that a successful outcome is possible. Remain objective in your discussions and ready to accept a leadership role should the offer arise. So, moving on to Tuesday the 24th, happy birthday to my oldest son. He is 41 on Tuesday. He was born in August 24th of 1980. And so he's 41. And boy, do I feel my age. So does my husband. Like, oh my God. Anyway, the numerology for Tuesday is 6. So harmony and shared purpose and shared direction. Let's see. Birkenau is the Elder Futhark rune for Tuesday, so healing and family and bringing projects to fruition. It can mean the birth of something, a child, or any kind of new idea or new direction. Protection is all. I don't know if I said protection. Acquisitio is the geomancy rune for Tuesday, so acquisition or acquiring or gain of some kind. It doesn't necessarily have to be financial, although it can be. Let's see, the moon is in Pisces until it shifts to Aries at 11:57 a.m., so just shortly before noon, Pacific Daylight Time. The human design channels active on Tuesday morning are both abstraction and wavelength. And the magical focus, Mars governs magic, except that the favorability is very bad on Tuesday. So if you have to do something, it's going to surround passion, manifestation, creativity, self-assertion, reducing conflict, and do whatever you have to do to shore that stuff up energetically with the corresponding things that you use in your working. The herbs, the crystals, whatever altar items that you use to help keep things contained. That would be the recommendation there. So you're going to express compassion to those who are suffering, supporting them in their grief and healing on Tuesday. Intone Birkenau during meditation to raise your own vibration and to cast the same to others. As the moon travels into Aries just before noon, your energy begins to increase. Remain patient and express a service to others' perspective. If conflict or frustrations arise, though, remain adaptable and avoid reacting in a manner that makes the situation worse. Because don't you find that sometimes when we start overreacting to something, or we jump to conclusions or jump the gun or whatever, maybe we don't really have all the facts, and so it can actually cause more drama than really needs to happen. You believe that right overshadows darkness with justice the goal. That said, be certain that you approach challenges in a balanced way and not in a manner that undermines trust. In other words, be certain on whose side you truly stand. Even the appearance of supporting oppressive forces on Tuesday will undermine a shared outcome. Wednesday, the 25th of August. Now we have a 7 numerology for that day. So that's the scales. That's letting things come to rest and seeing what settles out. It says it's about remaining in the observer mode. It's about getting above the fray. Think the Hermit card in tarot, getting above everything and being able to look through a higher level of understanding, a higher self-awareness, if you will. And look for the spiritual understanding of whatever's going on Wednesday. Alyes is the rune for Wednesday. And so this is protection. It's the elk. It's drawing, it's really raising your hands in supplication to spirit, and it acts as the bridge to higher consciousness, basically. Fortuna Minor or mini progress, baby steps, progress, along the path. As opposed to one ending that like Fortuna Major would be the big windfall. This is like the progress billing, like I've said, like contractors do. They're going to get paid as they go, essentially, instead of waiting till they're completely finished. It's sort of the type of progressive type of energy with Fortuna Minor. The moon's in Aries. Wavelength and mating are the human design channels for Wednesday. Oh, my throat. I've been working on teas to release this, and it's a damp condition, and red clover is proving to be just stellar in that. So I've been out in the field picking red clover and making sure I have enough, because clearly, as long as the smoke continues, this is going to be a thing, right? Anyway, Mercury governs magic, but again, favorability is very bad. If you do work something on Wednesday, the 25th, you're going to be focusing on communication, interactions, balance, justice, revelation. But again, favorability is very bad. So, choose your moment. Make sure you align everything. Make sure you're aligned in Wednesday Mercury. So you're going to go to an hour of Mercury and do that. Let's see. Assume an observer role on Wednesday so that a situation settles before you make any decisions that you can't undo. It may be that an outside perspective is necessary so that all facts are known. Your instincts are strong, and if interactions aren't going well with a partner today, on Wednesday rather, you realize it's best to let it go instead of taking the bait. It's likely that one or both of you may be feeling some kind of emotional imbalance, and there's no real need to overreact here. This may be a time of great healing, so pay attention to your inner voice and respond with compassion to your partner. Openness is empowered by collaboration with others and fosters a sensible approach if challenges arise. Take a step back, however, if it feels like you're getting nowhere. Destructive influences may be at the heart of what's happening, and you may need to stand your ground in order that progress is preserved. Now, on Thursday, the 26th, we have an 8 energy. And that is talking about leadership, material recognition, achievement. And it's a greater level of harmony that a leader can understand. Less reactive, more Albus-like, basically, even though Cauda Draconis is the geomancy rune for Thursday, which is, the south node of the moon, so endings and completion and karma and all that. Let's see, but Ingus is the rune for Thursday, so it's the sudden release of energy it's in other words, it's a manifestation rune. It brings things into being, basically. The key word for Ingus is the seed. So you think the seed of life or the seed of creation. So what are you going to create on Thursday? Especially from that leadership potential, or something that can then give you some material security or recognition. The moon's in Aries until it shifts to Taurus at 9:27 p.m. in the evening, Pacific Daylight Time. Wavelength and mating are still the human design channels active. I do this at 8 a.m. in the morning, both the chart for the lunar transits and also for the human design. So that's the time frame. As the day shifts, you're going to probably see other things happen, but that's where we start, at least at 8 o'clock in the morning. The magical focus for work and magic on Thursday, Jupiter governs. It's still in retrograde, so more of an inner expansion type of focus. But social justice, it's activism Thursday. So social justice, healing, abundance, income, growth, achieving goals and desires. The favorability on Thursday is very good for work and magic. So, let your activism sense take you into wonderful directions. So a new pathway that fosters growth may be opening on Thursday, now that a difficult period appears to be ending. That's that influence of Cauda Draconis. Let your past experience guide you forward and be ready for change that could be sudden and profound. Trust may be challenging on Thursday, and it's best to avoid judgments that could impact close relationships. Speak your truth, but do so in a way that doesn't cause damage or impact boundaries. Drop any resistance spelled and take some time for yourself. Your goal, of course, is fundamental harmony, but that only happens if you align with others in a manner that fosters mutual strength and security. Take stock of any situations that have been the cause of conflict and shift your perception to one that is more collaborative with others. Now, on Friday the 27th, we have a 9 energy, so endings, completion. There's a lot of that in various ways. There's also manifestation as well. So it just seems like this week, if there was a theme that seems to be, maybe here and there throughout the week, is that some things are ending and a new path is opening, and maybe your own past experience will inform it, or maybe you draw in other people with more experience than you do, a mentor or someone else that may just give you a little more insight as to where all this may be headed. But let's see. Gebo is the rune for Friday, so balanced energy exchange with others. It's the gift, reciprocity, and it's Kenaz in all directions. Okay, it's all going outward from the center. You have the center point, and then you have it everywhere, all around. And so the light of spirit is basically being expressed outward on Friday. And with the 9 numerology, you also have, it's also kind of a spiritual messenger type of it's generosity of spirit and all of that. So there's a spirituality component to the 9 as well. Taurus is the placement of the moon on Friday the 27th. Wavelength and mating are the human design channels active. Venus governs magic, so compassion, love, harmony, attracting a partner, just partnership issues in general. Female sexuality, fertility, healing, and friendship can be the focus. And the favorability is very good on Friday. Offer the gift of partnership and reciprocity to those in your life on Friday. Know that any true fortune we gain is expressed by our love for each other. With the moon in Taurus, in addition to taking care of your own responsibilities, offer assistance to someone who might not ask for help. Some people are, they're not doing well. If they're in the long haul aspect of COVID, there's a lot of things they just can't do. They don't have the energy. They don't have the lung power. This is a real serious situation for a lot of people now. And we're going to find out over time just how many of us will be affected by this. Let's see. If you're feeling overwhelmed, though, meditation or a walk in nature may help you find your center on Friday the 27th. Express acts of love and generosity to others without expecting anything in return. You feel emotionally balanced and secure in your relationships with others and aware of your impact on them as well. They appreciate your respect for personal boundaries and your balanced approach to life. But again, things are so, they're so different now in people's lives, especially if they've had COVID. We've been lucky. We've stayed masked up. We've stayed, heck, we still wipe down our groceries, and we only recently stopped wearing latex gloves to the store. But I'm thinking, my husband was saying, geez, maybe we better start again with the variant increasing everything. But, now we've gone back to double masking at the grocery stores and all of that, just to be extra safe. And I think that we'll probably have to do that through till at least spring or better. So I don't know. I think that whatever we can do to help other people that are struggling, we might not even realize it. They might not even be able to reach out. So check in on people if you haven't heard from them for a while, and make sure they're okay. Let's see. Lastly, Saturday the 28th. Now that's 2 and 8. You can do it. You can do this either as a 10 or a 1. I just reduce it to 1. But if you look at it as 10, I look at that as really like the Wheel of Fortune and the turn of the wheel. The Wheel of Fortune is the 10th card of the major arcana. And realistically, you're looking at cycles. You're looking at beginnings and endings together, and so I just reduce it to 1 and call that new beginnings and wholeness and unity and freedom and liberty and revolution and all of that. And then Fehu, the first rune of the Elder Futhark, the sending rune, basically in magic, it actually represents cattle and wealth that's movable. So it's kind of a transactional type of a rune. And then Vaya is the geomancy rune, and Vaya is the new path or way. So again, I just think that things are changing and we're having to deal with it. The path forward may not be an easy one, especially now that the kiddos are going back to school and getting sick and ending up in the hospital. The path forward may be very difficult here coming up. So it's going to take all of us coming together to cope with this. It's going to take all of us coming together in these states that don't seem to want to take care of our children and say, no, you can't have them. I'm not sending them to school. I'm going to continue to homeschool them until you come to your senses and protect them when they're out of my charge. It's that simple. And I think that that's what's going to drive this, okay? I really do. It's one thing when it's happening to just an adult, but when you see your children suffering or worse, oh, no. I think this is going to be the catalyst for all of it, frankly. And push is going to come to shove, I think. Wavelength and mating are the 2 human design channels active on Saturday, and Saturn governs magic, and the favorability is back to being very bad on Saturday for working magic. But if you do, curses, restriction, binding, summoning, harvest, purification, protection are the general things that you would work on Saturday. But just be careful. Things can backfire when the energies aren't right, and numerologically it is not. So at least from that. Now we'll go ahead and take a look at what Saturday has to say here. Your leadership may be called upon Saturday as a new path opens. And we don't know what that is, do we? Your practical sense will guide others away from perceptions that keeping them from moving forward. And again, I suspect this has to do with the kids and going back to school and the masking up and just the draconian, sadistic attitudes of these governors. I don't know how they haven't been arrested, frankly, because if you harm someone, don't you get arrested for it? If people die, don't you, because of something you've done, don't you at least have to go talk to somebody? I don't know. Decision making comes easily on Saturday, and your voice carries weight with others. However, if harsh words are spoken, it can impact the very support you need to make progress. Take a walk to clear out any irritation and choose tolerance over judgment on Saturday. Encourage others to approach challenges that arise in a practical manner so the focus remains on what is realistic to achieve. A higher perspective will benefit all now, but again, avoid judging anyone harshly for a viewpoint that doesn't add value. We can get into it. I've read reports of one parent attacking a teacher, pulling off the teacher's mask. I mean, it's like the thinking on this by some people is so warped at this point. I don't even know that reasonable conversation is going to impact any of them. I don't know what it's going to take. I really don't. And I read that there's a school it's either one of the Virginias, I don't know, West Virginia or regular Virginia. There's a college there that they've disenrolled, a couple hundred people. Couple hundred students because they refused to follow the mask policy, the COVID policy they have there. So they just threw them out, disenrolled them. I think that you're finding that proof of vaccination will be required to go in anywhere. But if you're around people, that are COVID positive, and you don't know that that they are, I don't know. I'm not even, because if it's a breakthrough thing like with the Delta, I don't know if that's even going to be enough. I suspect that we're going to, irrespective of whether or not we've been vaccinated, I think what's going to end up happening is we're going to have to understand that irrespective of the vaccination, we're still going to have to mask up. I don't, and had we all done this again last year, I don't think we'd be where we are. I think we would have a better handle on this. But now we are where we are. So we're going to have to do whatever is necessary to keep our children safe, to keep everybody safe, but particularly the children. So, you know, but again, you start having a conversation with somebody about it. You respond to the fact that they're not wearing a mask, and it's like, well, you're maybe bringing on some some challenges for yourself there. So you have to be careful and just set the example by doing the right thing, I guess. And that may be the safest thing you can do. Get in and get out of wherever you are, double mask, and if like we're doing, if you want to do that, or at least wear one, and make sure you're continuing to follow all safety protocols. It may be the only thing we can do going forward until everybody else understands the truth, which I mean, and I think there will likely be some who simply never will. So, and that's unfortunate. So, anyhow, that's it. That's really all I have to say for this week. And other than, take care of yourselves and be safe and love one another, and even people that you don't like very much right now, express love anyway. And who knows, maybe it will have an effect. Because even if it just affects one person and the decision they're making, from there, everybody that they may impact, it could create something positive there. So look for Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune next week on Monday and Thursday. The correspondence videos, I do them Monday through Friday, unless I'm harvesting right now, so that's going to be the only reason why I wouldn't do those. But at least the big forecast is over on the blog at Stepping Aside at I'mSteppingAside.com. A slightly different magical focus. The correspondences go up over on the Patreon page. You can join that for $1 a month or $12 a year, and you don't have to join every month. The month you do, it unlocks everything that's there. So, if you don't have time a couple of months, you don't have to. You can catch up later on. But then there's also stuff over on Medium. There's an esoteric forecast, and also I post another version of the correspondences over there too. So, check all that out. And, if you want to sign up for the newsletter, the Esoteric Influences in Post form goes out on Saturday evening. You can sign up on the blog over on the side panel on the left side there. You can put your email address in there, and it goes to my newsletter software. And, you just get it in your inbox. And I know our inboxes are incredibly cluttered, and you don't need anything else. But if you want to have it to refer to, there it is. So otherwise, it also went up on the blog last night, so you can catch it there if you don't want to have the newsletter. So anyway, lots of options, Thanks a lot for watching, you guys. Have a good week, and be good to yourself. Be good to one another, and blessed be.